May, June, July, in the middle of our winter, but the weather's still fantastic and the waves always turn on every year.
Yep, absolutely. The voice of former championship tour surfer Paul Canning in the booth with us, wearing two hats. Of course, Paul, you are in charge of Brand Ibelik, the young Australian, and Marcus Correa, as we now get stuck into the third heat of the morning. On screen, a very seasoned campaigner in the form of the Australian out of the East Coast, T.Watson, taking on fellow countryman N.Squiers. Watch for former championship tour surfer W.Dantas, the young talent of J.Azuchi. If you're just joining us, it is the World Surf League's qualifying series. The waves are on the cook here in Ballito, South Africa. And watch this run behind the curtain here. Multiple sections, just a little bit squeezy on the end there. Looked like T.Watson having a track behind the curtain here in beautiful Ballito.
That's to watch and surf in, so I'm frothing.
Yeah, we certainly enjoyed it at home. Talk to us about that excitement level. Is it hard to contain that and remember that, you know, you've got a job to do out there? You said Marcus was going pretty crazy. Mitch Cruz had that 8.57. Is it hard to, think about you got a job to do and how to surf, or are you just having fun?
Well, at the start, came out there with a game plan to just try to get 2 good waves and just surf them.
And a lot of work there, and that's kind of how we sort of extract the talent. During that interview, though, this man went absolutely crazy, W.Dantas.
Wow, yeah, there's incredible surfing there. Those backhand hooks in the pocket. I think it's going to be a really big score, and gets the last turn in there. So, they're linked together about 4 really tight backhand.
Whipped the third and then squared up the fourth. So little variations will get the judges pretty excited about a score. Now, someone that's had a pretty quiet run thus far, N.Squiers, the relatively low-profile name of the Australian, in red here, 51st right now. Meanwhile, W.Dantas quickly answering back here. Former championship tour surfer from Brazil will just make a little error there and come off the lip for a toe side little catch.
6 to 8 foot grinding barrels to absolutely perfect conditions today. Sure.
Well, talking of perfect, let's have a look at J.Azuchi. It's not T.Watson. We'll correct that shortly. 2-turn combination for the young Japanese surfer. And he will get his campaign underway. Prior to that one, just a little 1.33 in the scoreline for Joe. Joe, the little black bean, gets his second wave. Meanwhile, W.Dantas back at it. Wave number 3 for the former championship tour surfer. How tight does he whip those things in the pocket? Of course, we saw Wiggly in the championship tour. Actually, 2 or 3 waves in the lineup here this morning. It's the first real look at W.Dantas in 2019. Hasn't dug his teeth into much this year. Here goes N.Squiers, the highest ranked of the surfers currently in the qualifying series. Little delicate off the lip there, showing some mastery does N.Squiers as he tracks down the line in Ballito. Nice snap there from him. That will bring him right into discussion in the heat, and it'll give a priority to the other Australian out the back in the form of T.Watson. I noticed a couple of surfers picking those smaller to medium-sized waves that were the runners. What are we making of this lip work, Paul?
Oh, first turn is amazing. He really threw the tail there. First turn's always super important. At that stage there, I thought, is it going to close out? Only 2 turns, but he, being a bit of a smaller wave, it just opened up a bit more, and he was able to really get some nice turns through the inside and that big exclamation turn at the end.
The third heat of the morning here. And it's one of those classic mornings on the Quadakuza coast here as you watch Azuchi in frame here, tracking down the line. Vertical snap there to tail release, but the back foot comes unstuck. Look at these conditions though. It's absolutely groomed here in Ballito as you see W.Dantas on the wide shot. Wave number 4, a serious whipping taking place here again. Lovely side swipe there, just comes off the lip there. I'm watching strength out of W.Dantas in 2019. I'm watching a little bit more flexibility as well. So let's have another breakdown of this. This is just 3 turns for the best score of the heat. In fact, the best score of the morning.
Yeah, well, here he takes off the bottom. As you say, just the spray. He hit that lip in the perfect position, even tighter in the second one, rotating off the top and then getting the third turn in. But yeah, unbelievable surfing.
Actually, not much to say about that, really. Frothing on the backhand stuff of W.Dantas, and why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't we all? So we are expecting another top range score. Meanwhile, geared up, the vertical attack will go a little bit squirrely for N.Squiers, but we're thinking that W.Dantas might go into another excellent category score here. Meanwhile, jumping on an opportunity on the way out, combination of turns coming from Squiers, who will just let that one fall apart again. So Nicholas has got to kind of go back to the drawing board here. There is enough time to just calm it all down, He knows that there's going to be a little push from J.Azuchi and T.Watson as we move into the final third of the heat here. And you kind of have to think, what I like about the previous heat winner, Morgan Sibilek, the young Australian, is that he built his 2 scores in 2 different ways. He had a great run behind the curtain. And talking about behind the curtain, is Wiggly going to find his way out? Just not, but a couple of little tunnels here to talk about. So that's my discussion with T.Watson. Is Ty going to try and go into approaching the hollowing out conditions now?
5 minutes to go. He's in a good situation. Sometimes you'd rather be in fourth, not needing a high score, but have that priority.
Well, that's exactly what's happening with N.Squiers here. He's found this one. That's a beautiful track. Now, we were talking about turns versus barrels here. It is Ballito. It is day 1 of the QS 10,000. And we will harp on this subject all week long here as we have a very good forecast available to us here in this beautiful Ballito region. What are we making of this one, PC?
Yeah, as you said, he drags the hand at the back, gets him in the perfect position, stays behind the curtain for a long time, and still manages to come out, get a little check turn sort of there, and forecasts down the line and gets that last close out off the lip. We're going to see a lot of those, but
where is T.Watson in the game? Yeah, he's waited an age for this. Here he goes. Is this one going to pay a dividend for the Australian? Little hack there, little chip as he squirts this first turn. Jam in the pocket there. So 2 turns, not blockbusters. We kind of sit here watching that wave unfold. A 3.67 for the opener. At least now he has a second score on the board.
And here we go with Ty. He comes around the section. This turn's nice. It's just racked in the pocket there. Comes down and then this nice closeout jammer there. So that's definitely also going to improve his situation.
Squiers occupying now. Here's the challenge. J.Azuchi just flexible off the lip there. This is our surfer who doesn't need much. A little bit awkward as he whitewater rebounds. Inside track here for the Japanese. Lovely little spark there off the end. He has a little look at the clock. It's down to just a couple of minutes. In fact, we're inside the last minute here. Heat was going to be for everyone except W.Dantas.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a set wave out there. He got the first turn off the top through the tail. Just a little bit wobbly on as he came out of it. This part of the wave for me went a little bit strange, but then this last turn he managed to get so much extension off that lip.
Well, let's see if Liam O'Brien can himself tubed. Nope, he's going to stick to the face, and a good overhead wave here. You can see him just trying to get around that section. And what's got me is how few surfers have been falling off.
Well, here it is. A 5.47 is in the scoreline. That man, T.Watson, is going to take a bump out, down into fourth, and he'll be out of the Ballito Pro here. And, of course, coming up next, another great heat. Stay with us. It's the Ballito Pro presented by O'Neill.